I'm Ryan Shorthouse and I'm the director of Bright Blue, which is a pressure group which campaigns for the modernisation of the Conservative Party. I think there is a lot of support, particularly amongst the 2000 intake, for the reforms that Cameron undertook since 2005. And indeed, not since 1979 did we see one of the biggest swings towards the Conservatives in the 2010 election. So I think there's a lot of support for the modernising agenda. And really, it's about two things. Firstly, that it's not abandonment of Conservative values. We're saying, look, how do we make Conservative values, things around family, hard work, responsibility, how do we make these things compelling and inspiring in the modern day? So it's not an abandonment, it's not a sort of clause 4 moment for the Conservative Party. It is updating our values to make sure they're responsive to the modern day and reach out to as many people as possible. People who are sceptical of the Tory brand at the moment, people like from ethnic minority backgrounds, younger voters, and particularly homosexual people as well. Okay, so the second point about why the modernising agenda is important is because there is still a feeling out there that the Tory party is associated with being the party of the rich. And Lord Ashcroft has done a lot of polling on this, and it finds that people on low and middle incomes are still sceptical that the party really stands for them and their values. So I think the second part of the modernising agenda is to try and detoxify that label. So in our recent book, Tory Modernisation 2.0, we talked about blue-collar modernisation, and there are a lot of MPs behind that, people like Robert Halfon, who are really pushing for measures that boost the cost of living and also improve high-quality public services for people of that demographic. Well, there is a feeling, I think, amongst some people that modernisation was controlled by a small group of people right at the top of the party. And Bright Blue is about giving grassroots expression. Councillors, activists, MPs, all of them, who are behind the modernisation of the party. And a party that is modern, liberal-minded, progressive in the sense of helping the most vulnerable in society. So it's about giving grassroots expression to that. So we do numerous things, events, books, research papers, conferences, and people can come together to discuss what a modernising strategy and what modernising policies look like. The threat of UKIP is obviously something that we should look at carefully, and what we shouldn't do is lurch to the right, and we shouldn't try and become more hard line on Europe and immigration. Voters will see through that. They'll think, well, they're just responding to UKIP. People look to the Conservative Party for seriousness, for gravitas, for a party of government. And we can't be a party of protest circumstances, particularly what's happening in Europe. People are concerned and angry, and they're looking for a protest vote, really. And the Lib Dems now in government can't fulfil that, so UKIP has. But I think when it comes down to the general election, I think people will say, look, we need a party that's serious, that keeps Labour out, and they'll come back to the Conservative Party.